Hello, good evening and welcome in RTD's newsroom. The headline coming up in this edition: the Hirwalal contagion restore peace in Beledweyne in Iran. Putin ordered true action on Syria threats.
Good evening and welcome in our newsroom. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. jtanglais12dec2015, has received in his cabinet the Japanese ambassador in Djibouti, Mr. Tatsuo Arai. The ambassador of Japan was leading delegation composed of the JICA office director in Djibouti, the representative of the company responsible for the finalization of the work of the CFEEF. In the course of this meeting, which was attended by the senior executive of the MINFOP, the discussion between the minister and his visitors have been the opportunity to study the ways and means to enhance the partnership of Japan with the Republic of Djibouti in the field of education. The discussion between the two parties have also doors on the finalization of work of the Center for the Training of a Teacher. The two parties have agreed to finalize and to realize this Center for the Training of Teacher in the shortest possible time in order that they meet the needs and requirement of a reference center for a continuing training of the teaching staff of the Republic of Djibouti.
The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. jtanglais12dec2015, accompanied by a large delegation consisting of senior executives of the MINFOP, visited in Dakhel city. The Minister and his officials have been greeted warmly by a former teacher of the region. The visit of the minister is in response to the promise he has held during the celebration of the National Week of Teacher to come meet with the teacher during a lunch in their honor. Indeed, the 400 teachers in the region have made around a breakfast in a moment to point out ensuring responsible in Prime Minister and teacher to communion together in the joy and friendliness. He continued by pointing out that our country enjoys a peace and stability and that this peace results from the effort and the government which ensure the well-being of our people, and that it belongs to each teacher to preserve and value to our children in the classroom. And he has finally promised that he will ensure during this mandate at the head of the Department of the Basic Education continue the promotion of equity and enhance the quality of education.
The Education Minister says the opportunity to thank all the teachers and families who came to take part at the launch in their honor. He indicated that our country enjoys a peace and stability copy, and that this peace results from the effort of the government which ensures the well-being of our people, and that it belongs to each teacher to preserve our value in the classroom. This gathering, he said, comes after the promise he made during the celebration of the National Week of Teacher, so that this lunch allow families to meet teachers. He did not fail to promise that he will ensure during his mandate at the head of his Department of Basic Education to continue to promote equity and enhance the quality of educations.
The Minister of Culture and Waqf, Mr. Adan Hassan Balalu, has received this morning a delegation of Somaliland. The delegation led by the Director General of Diwan al-Zakat of Somalia, which has been received first by the Director General of Diwan al-Zakat of Djibouti, Mr. Ilmi Nur Jama. The two parties have met this morning in the center of the Djibouti Diwan al-Zakat to discuss of a possible action of cooperation between the two institutions. In the framework of the bilateral relation between Djibouti and the self-proclaimed Republic of Somaliland, the General Director of the Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland, Mr. Saeed Mohammed Farah, visit in Djibouti to maintain a generate of cooperation with his Djiboutian counterpart. The Minister has first reached the welcome to the Director General of the Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland, Mr. Saeed Mohammed Farah, and then expressed their full commitment to give support and assistance to the foundation of the Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland. Indeed, the objective of the visit of the director of the Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland with his Djiboutian counterpart was to be able to request a support and assistance regarding their capacity for the intervention among the most needy section of the population.
In his intervention, the Minister of Culture and Waqf has first of all welcomed the General Director of the Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland, Saeed Mohammed Farah, and then expressed his full commitment to give support and help the foundation of Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland. In fact, the objective of the visit of the Somaliland Director of Diwan al-Zakat with his Djiboutian counterpart was to be able to request a support and assistance regarding their capacities of intervention with population in need. The Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland is a very young institute who has been created in March 7, 2015, and is in this context that the foundation of Diwan al-Zakat of Somaliland has asked for assistance and support to the foundation of the Djiboutian Diwan al-Zakat, which celebrate this year its 10 years, and the support that has required the foundation of Somaliland concerned with the management and organization of the institute and how to increase the number of beneficiaries of the Diwan al-Zakat. Let's remember that the Diwan al-Zakat is one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic religion, and its first purpose is to demonstrate its commitment to Allah by performing these acts and to be supportive in respect of the Muslim community.
The National Championship of the Football 2015-2016 of the First Division of Djibouti has started yesterday afternoon at the Municipal Stadium in the presence of the President of the Federation of Djiboutian Football and its committee director. This competition team involving in First Division began with the game. The first match of the yesterday has been marked by the victory of Gelle against the Hospital team Balbala by a score of 2-1. The second game has opened to the CDE Arta to that of Dikhil CDD. Arta has recalled its first in flying Dikhil 3-0. This game has opposed the reigning champion Assas Djibouti Telecom and the Gendarmerie. This encounter is a balance 2-0 in favor of the National Gendarmerie. The 2 players from the Gendarmerie that we have been able to interview after the match reiterated that the leader of the training was perfectly reformed their team with the recruitment of a new player who have achieved the championship.
Still the national news, the National Day of Art Exposure under the theme Artistic Creation has taken place this morning in Sheraton Hotel. This exhibition of leader work has been organized by the well-known in the field professors of the Institute of the Djiboutian Art, Rifqi Abdul Qadir Bamakrama. This workshop has seen the participation of the Minister of Waqf, Property and of Culture, Adan Hassan Adan, the Director General of the IDA Art Center, Mohammed Hussein. The main objective of the workshop is to launch the young artists, Djiboutian amateurs in the field, while encouraging for support in the form of tools to work in the field of plastic arts and by a series of training sessions for short durations.
Under the auspices of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, the Arhotaba Association has organized this Friday a community action around Arhiba neighborhood. The Secretary General to the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Wahib Hamadou, and the leader of the neighborhood have taken part of this clearing day. As well, outside of the sponsor, the prefecture, the civil society, the voluntary, as well as an association of District 7 have participated in this day in color in the light of the numerous media present. Subsequently, the youth of Arhiba decided to organize following this initiative of Arhotaba and take in their hand the destiny of their city. This day, entitled Arhiba Clean and Green, was intended to raise awareness among the youth and Arhiba of the importance of the property.
And after the day, Arhiba Clean and Green Neighborhood and a worsen on the environment initiated by Art Tuhuba Association has been held last night at the CDC of Arhiba, a musical evening intercepted with folk dances, themed skit of cleanliness and hygiene. This noble initiative, which has managed to involve civil society, found a favorable response from the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, the OVD, that offered shelves and trucks and supply chain to quickly The range of artists of this evening were composed of Hussein Haile, Ali Yabi, Abayzid Badri, and finally associative leaders of Arhiba district personalities like Kamal Haji are responded to this great day of Friday, December 11. The caravan accounts in the coming weeks stopped at neighborhood 7 and continue therefore in the interior regions.
News release: the Djiboutian Water and Desalination National Office is informing the people of Djibouti City, expect those from Balbala, Plateau, des Serpents, Gabot 3, 4, 5, 6 Blouse that the water supply will be suspended on Monday, December the 40th from 8 to 12 due to the changing of a conduct sectoral control the main Isa water tower.
The Arabic-speaking intellectuals are satisfied with the effort undertaken by the head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, in favor of the Arabic language. The head of state has granted special attention for the promotion of the Arabic language and Islamic culture since his accession to the throne of the country. This strategy has permitted to hundreds of Djiboutian students to pursue their higher studies in the broadly countries such as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Egypt, as well as the Yemen. And on their return to the country, several intellectual Arabic speakers became officials in the public institution and private, like the Djiboutian French speakers. In this regard, one of the intellectual Arabic has expressed his satisfaction with the outcome of the tireless effort begun by the head of state. In this statement, he recalled the major achievement carried out by the head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, during the last decade as the regulation of Arab certificate at all levels, as well as the creation of the Ministry of Muslims Affairs, of Culture and Waqf, the High Islamic Council, as well as the foundation of Diwan Zakat. He asserted that the Arabic-speaking young people will recognize the effort of the head of state to strengthen the presence of the language and Arab culture in the past few years in the Republic of Djibouti.
anigu maalintaa baan gartay inaan wax jira ahay oo la aqoonsan yahay wax jira ahay waayo بريزيدنت ودك لقد أمبرتي يدكو يريسني يا كهذا يمانتا قلك وحان لقد يدينا وكفاني هديته وهديته وحكستبه ويدنا ناتي عنك مالتا وهو دريك وشعورته كلك لقد وحا أو أمر كبحية إني كمل نقطه إلى نقطة لقد قرب جوكتا ما قرب تعالى لقد رسمي قاعد ودك لو هذا فرانسيسك.
This morning, the Center Sheikh Musa Institution has hosted a closing ceremony of several training shared by the National Gendarmerie Chief of Staff, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden. Since a few months, several training sessions were held at the CICM in the framework of the National Gendarmerie Human Resource Training Policy. It is in this optic that this morning, two training carried out by a mission of expertise of Italian Carabiner lineup, respectively since 7 to 21 November, have come to an end in the Sheikh Musa Instruction Center. The ceremony chaired by the Colonel saw the participation of the several officials of the Carabiner. The training focused on the environmental crime, on the investigation carried out on a crime scene. The trainer of this training have shown through an exercise the technique to adopt in a contaminated environment by starting with the suspension of the area until the seal conditioning of passing by the random spline of the suspect project. This training has consecutively to the international of this kind of crime. The second training concerned a criminal investigation and able to train to occur the conventional technique to the reproduce at the crime scene. It includes the management of the scene, the relevant levy, and the conditioning of cloud of evidence by avoiding to upload the least possible the scene of this. On this occasion, it was submitted to the president of the ceremony a demonstration relating to the discovery of a crime in the investigation of the crime scene.
And jointly in these training courses in judicial matters, training on the management of crowd is also closed this morning, December the 12th. Here too, a demonstration was presented to the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden. The scenario that has been presented includes the technique performed in front of a quiet crowd, then a hostile crowd, the techniques to reduce a barricade held by demonstrators, and finally the reaction to a shot. At the end of the various demonstration, the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie did not fail to congratulate all the trainees and thank all the Carabineers instructors for the quality of these lessons provided to personnel of the squadron of the Gendarmerie, Mobile Number 4, and the investigators of the territorial brigades. It was then the discount of graduate for the different training followed by a refreshing offered by the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie to his host of the Italian Carabineers.
The death of the first Tajura Regional Council Secretary, Mr. Muhammad Maki, who founded in a car accident on his way to Djibouti from Tajura on Tuesday, has shaken everybody in the country. Prominent persons of government and the national radio television are sending their condolences to his family, such as the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, the Minister for Women Empowerment, the Minister of Communication, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdoun, the Premature General Secretary, Mr. Nagib Abdullah, the Dakhil Prefect, Mr. Mohammed Sheikho, the former Prime Minister Abdullah Kamil, and the later Mohammed Dileita, the Prefect of Tajura, Enobo Hassan Dabale, the Ambassador of Djibouti in Germany and Japan, Aden Dileita, Ahmad and Ahmad Areta, the Engineer Baragoita Afis, and his Deputy Director of the RTD, Mr. Ahmad Dini, Director, are sending their condolences on the death of the late Mr. Muhammad Maki, the Tajura Regional Council Secretary. He was someone it's a person appreciated among by these persons and contemporary in all the people that he during at the Ministry of Health.
And we have learned again with regret the sudden death of Mr. Dahel Bulbul, who passed away Thursday evening in the suburb of Bala. The late Dahel was born in 1958, and a day that he began his professional career in the force of the Djiboutian Army in 1977 and got retired in 1997 after loyal services for his country. He leaves behind him a wife and 10 children. May the Almighty grant him his eternal paradise. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Since the intervention of the Djiboutian forces, AMISOM in Somalia show a clear improvement of the security situation and the reception of the commercial activity in Beledweyne. The commercial activity resumed in Beledweyne to the delight of the merchant, especially in the trade of cattle, which are exported to Arab country and the Gulf. Let's watch it for more information. In this report sent by our correspondent in Somalia, it is question of the improvement of the security situation and the reception of commercial activities in Beledweyne since the intervention of the Djiboutian forces AMISOM. This intervention came after the attack by the extremists from the Al-Shabaab were threatened by the intervention of the Djiboutian soldier has put to an end to the situation of insecurity. The man said that the marketplace of Beledweyne benefit of a law. The person in question on the market thanks to the Djiboutian soldier for their intervention and the Djibouti authorities for their effort to stabilize Somalia and the region of Hiran, was Beledweyne is the capital, where are deployed the Djiboutian forces of the AMISOM. In this coverage, the tradesmen of the place, particularly the women that you see on the image, assert that a security reign in Beledweyne since the arrival of the Djiboutian forces in Beledweyne. A soldier of Hilwalal confirmed that security is well returned and the exchange on the market are stable and right track. A businessman said that thanks to the stability and the security provided by the distribution contagion of Hirwalal, the affair resumed their normal courses. The business adds that the population flow freely in the major arteries of the capital, and it always aggressive effort of securing conduct by the army forces of Amison Hirwalal bases in Beledweyne and the region of Hiran. He warmly thanked the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, to the commandment of Hirwalal and the army element of Djibouti for their effort and support of the stabilization of Hiran region. According to our correspondent, the population of Beledweyne has confidence in the contagion of the Hirwalal, which was welcome the integration at this same population. Thanks to his confidence, the atmosphere is good between the Djiboutian soldier and the worker in Somalian civil range. His colonel asserted that his cattle is intended to be sold on the market of Mogadishu in the region of 80% head. Since that some security and peace were restored grasp of the contagion Hirwalal, there is less and less of chief and primalal in Beledweyne. These other businessmen, they explain us that the population of Beledweyne see the Djiboutian soldier as a brother who came to help for the reign, peace and security. Of more, it's add the Djiboutian soldier have become a frequent visitor to the market to buy those which they have need, which create a good atmosphere. The soldier take the same bath as the population in his role in the same restaurant, and most of them speak the same language, say these men. The situation before the arrival of the Djiboutian soldier was catastrophic, but since the situation is significantly improved, and those thanks to the good effort of the Amison as well as of the current Somali government, which provide numerous effort at the side of the Djiboutian forces of Amison.
Still in the regional news, Somalia's economy could have been set up for a major boost following a completion of seismic data report following a survey on its oil and gas industries. Said Mohammed tells more.
A ceremony was held to celebrate two monumental milestones: the opening of the Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources new headquarters in downtown Mogadishu and the transfer of 2D seismic data from Soma Oil and Gas. The newly renovated building is adjacent to the 1960s Parliament. For the past 2 years, the ministry had been co-located with the Ministry of Education in a building that was limited in space. In addition, Soma Oil and Gas has transferred 2D offshore seismic data to the federal government of Somalia. This covers all the data owned by the federal government that was acquired by Soma Oil and Gas in 2014 based on the seismic options agreement between the Somali government and Soma Oil and Gas. Mohammed Mukhtar Ibrahim, Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, said opening our new renovated ministry is a very good news at a time when the government is challenged with rebuilding state institutions. The building will also house a state-of-art data room that is an integral component essential to the development of Somali hydrocarbon sector. If Somalia is to attain production, then it must begin with the gathering of data. The data room will store the data and enable the Somalia federal government and its partners to market the data to potential investors. Soma Oil and Gas financial report for the data room and the closing working relationship between Spectrum SEA, which will market the data, and the ministries underline the benefit of collaboration. We are confident the data will highlight the significant opportunity that remain of Somalia offshores.
In Asia, China's security chief is calling for a better intelligence on terrorism by improving the ability sharing information report.
The Chinese President Xi Jinping will attend the upcoming Second World Internet Conference in the river town of Yuseng in East China Province. He is expected to deliver a keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the conference, which is scheduled to be held between December 16 and 18. The ministry in charge of the cyberspace administration said at a press conference. More than 2,000 attendees from over 120 countries and regions will participate in the conference, with foreign guests accompanying. Conference participants include representatives of governments, international organizations, internet companies, academic experts, think tank, and foreign and domestic college students. The representative also includes the Prime Minister of Russia, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, as well as senior officials from the United Nations Internet Operation for assigned names and numbers: Apple, Macintosh, Microsoft, Nokia, Lenovo, Alibaba, Baidu, and Send. The conference will cover 22 topics, including Internet cultural transmission, Internet innovation and development, digital economy cooperation, Internet technology standards, and cyberspace management.
In Russia now, President Vladimir Putin has ordered the military to take extremely tough action against any threat to its forces in Syria. Let's listen with more details.
Talking tough at the annual meeting of Russia Defense Minister, the message from the President Vladimir Putin was clear: to eliminate any threats to his military in Syria. He also revealed that Russia is engaged in offensive actions in joint operation with regular Syrian forces against Islamic militants in Homs, Hama, Aleppo, and Raqqa. I'm ordering you to act tough. Any targets posing a threat to Russian division or Russian military target on land have to be annihilated immediately. In the meantime, cooperation needs to be developed with all the countries that are genuinely interested in the annihilation of the terrorists, he said. The president did not elaborate on the specific threats. His speech came with Russia locked in a row with Turkey. On Thursday, the country's Prime Minister Ahmed Davutoglu accused Russia of attempting ethnic cleansing within its airstrike in northern Syria, targeting Turkmen and Sunni communities in and around the Latakia region. The Russian foreign minister rejected the claims.
That's it for tonight news. Thank you for your attention.